Viewers, welcome back to the Personal Injury Law Show. It's that time of the show where we've got Kathy's mailbag. Good evening, Kathy. How are you?
Good, thank you, Tony. Good evening. Good evening, Nuance viewers.
What do you think of the topic?
Very, very interesting as always. And Alice, how wonderful is she?
She's. It's a worry for family members that have got children, elderly, with the things that are going on in society, and liability is a bit tough these days.
Absolutely.
The state of the law is not great. Just shows you there's probably policy decisions behind the High Court's reasoning.
Oh, of course, there's always going to be policy considerations, especially with a High Court decision. So,
because the concern, I guess, is the blowout in claims, the cost. Anyway, Kathy,
I think it's time that we get on to the viewer questions because we've got a lot to get through. Viewers, tonight our first question comes from Anthony. And it says, to the PI show, I am the GM at a small materials supply company to the printing industry. I built my company to be quite successful, enduring issues with customer debts, culminating in several bad losses. However, I have one issue in particular which has taken a toll on me, and that's regarding lies, rip-offs and even threats against my family that I've endured. I have, over the last 2 years, slipped into what I only feel is a deep depression. My whole life has changed. I'm lacking sleep, strained relationships between my wife and myself, including physical and personal relationships, and the inability to enjoy simple things in life. I feel that I have lost my drive to build or even maintain my business. I had been considered a strong performer in my industry, but now I can't even find the strength to maintain my business. I think I would still struggle to find employment in an equivalent role, not through lack of skill, but obvious lack of drive. I'm worried about my family home. Do I have a claim? Now, Tony, that's a very sad issue that Anthony is facing in terms of depression and maintaining his business.
And it's a common case where people do get depressed. You know, obviously Anthony's a very high performer. You know, he's taken his company to $4 million a year. We don't really know where it started, but it sounds to me that he's got a claim for no-fault benefits.
Under work cover?
Yes, under work cover. You'd think the company's set up with a structure so that he can go onto work cover, work safe, get no-fault benefits in terms of loss of income, also medical and associated treatment. As to whether he's got any other potential rights, that is common law, you'd have to look at what the management, he's the GM, but there might be a board, there might be other directors, and just have to look at and see, are they aware of the fact that he's having these issues? Are they aware of the threats on his life? What have they done to try and alleviate those problems? Have they even turned their mind to it? So it's a complicated set of facts, and I think you need to get legal advice, Anthony, but yeah, you do have claims. So,
and would you also recommend that Anthony seek psychological help at this point as well?
It sounds to me that he's
him?
Getting treatment because he's got deep depression. I mean, once you get into a deep depression, I don't think you can stay without treatment. And in fact, I don't think you'd need a psychiatrist. Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope that's helped you, Anthony, and we hope that you seek legal advice in relation to your question. Moving on to number 2, DPI show. Last year, I had a teaching contract. In May, I felt pains in my chest at school. My doctor prescribed me antibiotics then and in July. In September, I was diagnosed with viral myocarditis, and I have since retired. Do I have a chance of compensation, and is the doctor remiss in taking so long to pick up such a severe problem? And this is from Jill. Now, Nunzia, this is interesting because there's 2 sets of questions that we have here. One's obviously a work cover claim.
Yep.
Would you like to answer the question?
Well, look, there's sort of 2 parts to this question. One is a potential work cover claim, and 2, a potential medical negligence claim. Now, in this instance, Jill, I think you should put a work cover claim in straight away. Your injuries arose from work and out of work, and as such, you should put a work cover claim in. By an extension of that, do you have a potential medical negligence claim? Look, you know, without knowing a lot more facts, I think unlikely, because it all stemmed from your employment at school. So I think that you definitely need to seek legal advice, and we need to know more about, I suppose, the history of how your condition occurred. Because also, Tony, do you think there might be a common law claim at school?
Yeah, there could be, but this is very basic facts.
Yeah.
You'd really need to get a detailed brief of evidence as to what transpired. Yeah, but getting back to suing a doc, you can't. There's High Court authorities saying that there's got to be a break in the chain of causation. I've looked at this issue so many times over the years, it's almost impossible. So, yeah, any potential claims has got to fall back onto the employer.
Prefer a work cover claim in the sense you can get your no-fault benefits paid, medicals and weeklies if necessary.
That's exactly right.
And, of course, an impairment claim as well at some stage.
Yeah, there's a lot of entitlements under your work cover claims.
So, Nunz, get advice. That's
the
message.
Jill, get advice straight away, and you know, let's hear the whole story.
Thanks, Jill. And our lucky last question for this evening comes from Eve in, I think that's Werribee. I am a secondary teacher on work cover and have been on work cover for over a year. I can't teach anymore because of the working conditions at my school and the effect on my mental health. I got a new job a month ago. It pays a lot less and is less mentally challenging, so I can do it. Do I have any rights for compensation for my lost career? Now, this is a very similar question, Tony, following on from the last viewer, Jill. She's on work cover,
so... we're talking about school teachers tonight, and half the questions are about teachers, so it's just bizarre. We've sort of shifted it back to the teachers. Look, yeah, she has got a claim. We don't know enough facts here. If she's only working part-time hours, she can claim the difference under a section of the legislation which entitles you to claim the hours you're not working at 80%. So she's got those rights. In addition, once you know a bit more facts, you could determine whether there's any prospective common law rights. And also there might be no-fault benefit rights, the lump sum, if you've got more than 30% disability. So, yeah, it's very complicated, but this is one where I would be getting advice because you need to know a lot more.
When she talks about working conditions, what does that mean? I said we're in the dark at the moment, but once you get legal advice, we can flesh those issues out.
The law's very hard when it comes to psychiatric injuries, especially foreseeability and the knowledge the employer's got of your condition. But you would have thought in a teaching environment where the stresses are there, that they've got to be a bit more diligent, the employer, not Kathy?
Well, you would think so, Tony, but again, as we said, it's a little bit vague with the material that we have in front of us because there's a lot of different effects that can cause a mental condition, and we need to be aware of all of that information to understand the complexities. And whilst the foreseeability is an issue, sometimes it is foreseeable, and it just all depends on the circumstances, I think.
And also the stresses with teachers have got these days. Back in my day when I was at school, if you did anything wrong, you cop a strap, or it's pretty, scary sort of stuff.
We have moved on since those times, Tony.
I really don't know how what they do with children these days, or kids when they don't cooperate.
Oh, look, I know every school differs, private school, public school. There are other factors that need to be looked at, investigated. So
I guess the private schools just kick the students out if they're that bad, don't they?
Look, they're a lot more stringent than I think their approach. So, and they don't take any crap.
Interesting. A lot of questions, Kathy, but you want to remind the viewers, keep sending them in.
Of course. Thank you, viewers, for watching again tonight and for sending through your questions. We would like to remind you of our email address, which is info@thepishow.com. And, of course, please catch up on earlier episodes at www.thepishow.com. But we have plenty more coming back for you next week. And, Tony, did you want to tell us what we've got on for next week's show?
We're either doing surveillance or superannuation.
I think it's superannuation, Tony, it is. It's superannuation. It's time that we inform our viewers of their insurance rights.
That's why I was a little bit confused as to which one we're doing. But, look, thanks for coming on, Uns.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Viewers, thanks for watching and stay safe. Thank you.